When I first had the idea for this video, I wanted to just throw together a compilation of every shiny I caught this year and include my reactions, but I think that'd be a boring video. Instead, I decided to review my year as a whole. This video will still include clips of every shiny I caught, like a compilation, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the videos. I wanted to reflect on what the videos mean to me, the things I liked, what I could have done better, and what can I take away to make better content in 2025. While this video is a personal reflection, I think you could find it interesting. 2024 has been an incredible year for this channel, and for me personally. Thank you so much for your support. Whether you've liked, commented, or just watched a video, know that you've played a pretty big part in my journey, and I really appreciate it. Before I get into it, I want to be upfront about a couple things. First, this video is only going to include hunts that have made it into final videos. I've got a lot of exciting stuff planned for 2025, so all the hunts from the Legends Arceus, Shiny Only Nuzlocke, or the Shiny Rayquaza DA won't be in this video. I'll also spend some time at the end of this video sharing my goals for 2025, so stay to the end for those if you're interested. Lastly, if you want more context for any of the shinies you see in this video, or if you're curious about any of the videos I talk about, your best bet is to check out the original video. I won't be going into a lot of context or detail of the shinies in this video. I will, however, do my best to link the videos on screen, so feel free to check out the originals if you're interested. With that, it's time to jump into it. I think the easiest way to go over everything I've done in the past year is to kind of divide my videos into two categories, shorts and longs. So let's start with shorts first. I'm going to spend some extra time on my first short, but then I'll talk about my remaining shorts in two categories. At the end of each group, I kind of have a takeaway that I want to remember going into 2025. When I started creating content for this channel, I made shorts for two reasons. First, shorts were huge at the time. YouTube was heavily promoting them to compete with TikTok, and many of us, including myself, were caught up in doom scrolling. The second reason, shorts felt like a realistic starting point compared to diving straight into full-length videos. A 1-minute short is much easier to create than a 2-hour movie. I actually wanted and still want to create long-form content, but I feel like I just lacked the skills to do so at the start. Shorts were so popular, and it felt like a great way to just ease into video making. So why not start there? My first short featured a shiny Munchlax, and this video was basically a tutorial on how to get this Pokemon from minigame in the Teal Mask DLC. At the time, it felt like a good starting point, but as I'm reviewing my work now, it's not exactly my favorite video for two reasons. One, this video makes me cringe. It is so uncomfortable for me to listen to myself in this short, and I just hate the way I talk in it. The second is a fact that I realized after creating this short. I don't want to make tutorials. I don't know what it is about that video format, but I just didn't enjoy the process. Based on those two things, I have some pretty big takeaways. For one, the fact that I cringed watching it, I think is a good thing. It's proof that I've gotten better at making videos and presenting myself on the internet. The second is that I'm glad I started making videos on YouTube by starting with shorts. The format is a pretty quick and easy way to test out ideas, much quicker and easier compared to making long form videos. It kind of helped me figure out what types of content I want to make with pretty little risk. So going into 2025, I want to keep experimenting with shorts and keep making short form content. If I had to describe this next category of shorts, I'd call them spontaneous shiny reactions. Quick, unplanned videos that were inspired by exciting moments that happened to me while just playing Pokemon. For some context, I made a short that was about a full odds shiny Cacnea, a short about how I caught an authentic Sinistea, and some shorts for timed outbreak events in Scarlet and Violet in this category. If I had to pick my top three, I would say it'd be these ones: the Sinistea hunt, the Minior hunt, and the Shina Alpha Rose Raid hunt. What I love so much about these three is that the videos were entirely unplanned. I didn't set out to create these videos or hunt these specific Pokemon. They were just Pokemon I shiny hunted organically, and I didn't realize that I wanted to make a video about them until the moment passed me by. I'm the type of person to constantly overplan and spend way too long on details that don't matter when making videos. Having videos like this is a way to force myself away from being a perfectionist. Therefore, one of my biggest takeaways and goals for 2025 is that I want to continue creating these smaller, spontaneous shorts. While I don't have a formula for generating these moments, my plan is to just keep doing the things I enjoy, and hopefully I'll record something fun. This idea also extends to all my other, more longer, complex videos I have planned. I always want to be sure that I'm enjoying the process along the way. The last category of shorts I want to talk about is my Shiny Wheel series. The concept was that I would spin a wheel containing every Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet and then speedrun the process of me getting that shiny. I still stand by the fact that this is a cool idea. It had a lot of variety, and my goal was to continue this project consistently each week while working on other videos. One of the reasons I had this consistency goal was just because a lot of creators found success by repeating the same challenge over and over again in short form content, and I thought this could maybe be my thing. Despite the fun moments, there were two big challenges that led me to stop making this series. First, these videos were incredibly time consuming for me to make. I was still learning an editing workflow, and producing these shorts took way longer than I expected. Again, my goal was to post once a week, but I just couldn't do that and work on long form content. Second, the series started to feel repetitive and uninteresting to me. I found myself making these videos just to stick to a weekly schedule instead of just enjoying myself. While I do think the Wheel series performed well, and you all seem to enjoy it based on the likes and comments, I personally didn't find it satisfying enough to continue. It ended up becoming a chore, and it kept me away from making long-form content, so I decided to move on from it and stop making those shorts. Because of that, my big takeaway here is that I think it's good to have a common theme or a series for videos. Lots of creators have found success by posting videos that feature a similar challenge or have some underlying theme. But what that series cannot do is be something that you don't enjoy. I never want to force myself to create something and not have fun along the way. That's my high-level thoughts on the shorts I've made this year. If you want more context for the shinies I showed, or if you just want to watch my embarrassing first video, I'd recommend going to the shorts tab on my YouTube page. There you can see every short I've posted so far. While I got your attention, you should subscribe if you made it this far into the video. If you are already subscribed and did so because of a short I made, thanks. I really do appreciate you. But I'd also like to know if there was a particular moment, challenge, or video that convinced you to do so. Please leave a comment, I'd be super curious to know. Back to the task at hand though, it's time to talk about my long-form content. I made 6 videos in 2024, and I have one big takeaway from each of those videos. After creating a handful of shorts, I finally felt like I was ready to tackle something more ambitious. My first long-form shiny hunting video. Longer challenge videos with a story have always been my goal for this channel, and this was my chance to get started. But these days, it's incredibly daunting coming up with ideas for YouTube. The bar has been set so high by talented creators, and sometimes it feels like if your idea isn't perfect, it's just not worth posting. That's how I honestly felt before I started this project, but I knew I had to force myself out of that way of thinking, otherwise I would never get over that unnecessary fear. To do that, as I was brainstorming, I only wanted to make videos that met 2 simple criteria I set for myself. If an idea didn't pass both of these checks, I would discard it and never make a video about it. 1, the concept has to be interesting to me. Practically, this means that it's a video I'd want to watch myself, or it's an idea I've never seen before. 2, I had to be personally excited about it. It's hard to gauge your own personal excitement about something, so what this meant for me practically was that if I was thinking about the concept multiple days after I wrote down the idea initially, I was excited about it. These 2 rules made all the difference for me. Without them, I might have spent forever chasing the perfect idea and never posted anything. It sounds silly, but for a long time, I genuinely felt like I wasn't good enough to post on YouTube. I kept overthinking everything to the point of not making any progress. Forcing myself to commit to a project that met these 2 simple criteria was a huge step forward, and honestly, I'm so glad I did it. This EV video may not be perfect, but it represents a pretty big milestone for me. I won't go into every detail of the challenge here, but I want to highlight a few moments I loved and reflect on what I learned. First, let's talk about my favorite part, the funeral scenes. Yes, I'll admit, it's morbid, but I think the moments where I release the shinies and the bell tolls for the fallen Pokemon are hilarious. It's definitely not a scene for everyone, but it was my way of coping with the fact that I released and failed several shiny Pokemon during this challenge. Now, onto the critiques. There are 2 big things I think I could improve on. The first is the intro. While I think it's visually cool, it doesn't match the tone and energy for the rest of the video, or the type of videos I want to make moving forward. It's just too intense. I prefer a more relaxed vibe, something chill yet engaging, where viewers can still enjoy the story without feeling overwhelmed. Finding that balance is tricky, and I'm still trying to find it to this day, but that's kind of the direction I want to go. The second thing I don't like about this video is the lack of live reactions. For a good chunk of the video, I rely entirely on narration with no breaks. While narration works in some cases, it feels exhausting to listen to me non-stop in this video. Live reactions could break things up a bit, give you, the listener, a breather, and add more of my real-time emotions to the story. That's something I want to ensure is a part of every video I make in the future. This video is far from my greatest work, but it's a project I'm proud of. It reminds me a lot of my first short that I made. It was my first attempt at something new, and just like back then, I learned a lot by just finishing this project. I figured out how to plan a video, record it, and edit it into one cohesive story. And at the end of the day, I came up with an idea I loved and turned it into a video. That's pretty cool. I'm proud of that. I think the hardest part about doing anything new is just getting started. It's so easy to come up with reasons not to try something, but those are just barriers we create for ourselves. In my experience, if you push through and commit to a project, whether it's making a video or something else entirely, it's absolutely worth it in the end. Out of all the videos I've made, this one might just be my favorite. The concept of a shiny only Nuzlocke is both terrifying and daunting, but I think that's why this video is so compelling. The project took me months to complete and required an insane number of shiny Pokemon, but I am so proud of how the final video turned out, and I'll always look back on this project fondly. Some of the best moments from this video are the battles against Drayton, the battle against Kieran, and the final chapter where I fight Terrapagos. Those battles and losses were some of the most emotionally taxing experiences I've ever had playing a Pokemon game, and I am so proud I pushed through all of it and was able to turn those moments into an awesome YouTube video for you guys to watch. Throughout that challenge too, I became very fond of some of the Pokemon I used, so much so that they earned a spot in the thumbnail of this video. Another aspect of this video that I love is that I was able to fit in just a little bit extra. There were times when I felt down or frustrated, but I included little pep talks or motivational speeches in the video. Not just to encourage myself through the tough times, but maybe to help motivate you through some tough times. I even sprinkled in a little life advice, which I thought was a nice touch. But as much as I love that video, there is one big thing I'd change about it: the length. Looking back, it's just too long. I know a lot of people didn't watch all the way through or skipped over the video entirely because of the time commitment. In my defense, I had 6 months of notes I wanted to cover. I wanted to share everything: the rules, the story, my opinions, every battle, and every shiny Pokemon I caught. That's just too much. I should have cut some stuff out of it. For instance, I could have ditched the full story recap. Honestly, if you're watching that video, you've probably already played the DLC yourself and you don't need a complete rundown of the plot. Instead, I should have just focused on my key opinions of the story. There were also some moments where I could have streamlined the storytelling a bit. For example, I spent a lot of time up front explaining the rules. In hindsight, I should have just introduced the rules gradually as the challenge progressed, keeping the pacing tighter and making it feel like we're actually making progress in the video. But at the end of the day, this is the type of video I want to make. It's an impressive challenge that tells a story. This video may not be the perfect execution of that, but I'm still really proud of it, and I learned a lot of things I will take into next projects. I'm also proud that this video had that little bit extra, a bit of emotion or even a lesson you could learn. That little extra is something I'd like to fit into all my future videos, even if it's just a small part of it. I really liked this project. The idea was interesting and unique, and I'm really having a hard time finding anything I didn't like about it. I got the idea while thinking of interesting ways to shiny hunt, and I noticed a lot of people trading away 100 shiny Pokemon, but I figured what would happen if I reversed that. I also thought the twist of playing bingo during the video was a fun way to keep things interesting while I traded away hundreds of Pokemon. Some of my favorite moments were the times I got the Pokemon I was mass trading for this challenge back. I traded away a lot of Munchlax and Azurill, and 3 of those managed to make it back to me through Wonder Trade. I have no idea how rare that is to this day, but it was an exciting moment for me. Another highlight was the legit shiny that I received during the challenge. If we're being real, this video only really works because the Wonder Trade economy is so busted in Scarlet and Violet. There are a lot of gemmed or hacked shiny Pokemon in the market that are being used as advertisements. I honestly expected that this video was only going to be hacked shiny Pokemon, so I was pretty surprised to receive one legit one. All in all, I feel like the things I learned from creating both shorts and longer form content kind of came together in a way that made this project flow really well. It was the perfect opportunity to bring all those skills I learned into one exciting challenge video. To be honest, I don't have a lot of critiques for this video. I might need some help from you guys here. Was there anything about the video that didn't quite hit the mark for you? Let me know. Regardless, my big takeaway from this project, which kind of piggybacks off the takeaway from my Shiny Eevee video, is that ideas are important. If you have an idea that you're interested and excited about, go for it. Because of that criteria I set for myself, and because of all the learning I've done up to this point, I think I made a pretty good video at the end, and I really enjoyed the process the entire time. I view this video in a similar light to the Wonder Trading Challenge. It's another project I'm really proud of because it met all my project criteria. It was an interesting idea, but it also was something I was super excited to try. One thing I'm particularly proud of in this video is some of the graphics. I could be wrong here, but I feel like the visuals in this video are some of the best I've created so far, and I learned a lot just by putting them together. I'm really proud of how I incorporated more shots of me just talking to a camera like this. I don't really want my face to be a secret on this channel, and I feel like this makes the video a bit more personal. Lastly, I'm impressed with how quickly I was able to turn this video around. You may have noticed that I do not post videos often. My goal was to post about once a month in 2024, but in the end, I only managed to have 6 uploads. Not good. I didn't do so hot last year, and I want to get better. The fact that this project only took me 2 weeks to complete is kinda eye-opening for me. It went surprisingly smooth from start to finish, and it showed me that fun videos don't have to take months to create. It's also another piece of evidence showing me that I'm getting better at this whole YouTube thing. This video marks a bit of a shift for me. Unlike my projects where I came up with a big, unique challenge or an interesting concept, the goal for this video was pretty simple, just to get a shiny Meloetta. What I think makes this video so fun though is that this Pokemon was unobtainable for such a long portion of my life, and in order to obtain it, I had to recover from a pretty dark time in my Pokemon career where I lost a huge portion of my living dex. It was a really interesting way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. In some ways, I want to make more videos like this on the channel, just me sitting down talking about getting one Pokemon, going through all the ups and downs of that process, and talking about how important that is to me. I'm really happy at how the video resonated with you all too. There's something comforting about knowing you guys will listen to an old Unk talk in his room and tell stories about his journey to catch one shiny Pokemon for 13 minutes. I don't want to throw away challenge videos on this channel. I will do them as I come up with ideas, but this video makes me feel like I can just share stories and talk about why Pokemon are so special to me. I really enjoy challenges, but I also enjoy just talking about Pokemon and why it's special. This was my last video of the year, and while I admit it was a bit disappointing that it didn't perform as well as some of my other videos, it kinda makes sense. It was something totally different than what I've done in the past. For one, this was my first time collaborating with someone on a video. I worked with Pochi to come up with an idea that we were both excited about. It was also my first attempt at a sort of unscripted video. Usually I record the process of me in a challenge, my reactions to shiny Pokemon, and all the notes I take. Then at the end of the project, I spend time gathering all that up and turn it into a script. That script is what I use to kind of guide my narration to make sure I don't miss anything I want to say and to make sure I don't ramble on too long in the video. But this time the video was just what happened in our shiny hunting race. There was no post narration, no additional storytelling added later. What you see in the video is basically exactly what happened the day we recorded. Honestly, it was a blast. I ended up with some insane shiny Pokemon, had incredible luck, and really enjoyed recording with Pochi. Even though the video didn't perform as well as I'd hoped, I don't really care too much at the end of the day. The experience itself was worth it. I learned a lot, and I want to be part of more projects like that in the future. That said, I've realized that this isn't really the style of video I want to make on this channel. Similar to my tutorial Munchlax video, I just don't like the format. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm done with collaborations. Far from it, actually. One of my goals for 2025 is to work with others on more projects. However, on my channel, you're more likely to see me post shorts of fun moments from those collabs, and you're more likely to see the full-length videos on someone else's channel. My big takeaway from this project is that collaborations are great. This was some of the most fun I've had in a long time shiny hunting, and it reminds me just how valuable it could be to work with others. The ideas you come up with as a group are often way better than what you come up with on your own. Even if the final result doesn't hit the mark, you learn a lot along the way. What works, what doesn't, and what you like and what you don't like. As I reflect on everything I've created this year, I realized just how much I've learned, not just about video making, but about myself and the kind of channel I want to build. 2024 has been an incredibly rewarding year. I set out to commit to a full year of making videos on YouTube just to see where it would take me, and I'm pretty thrilled at the journey so far. With that in mind, I'm excited to continue into 2025 with bigger goals and even more ambitious projects, all inspired by the lessons I've taken away from this past year. As I wrap up this video, I kind of wanted to share my goals and plans for 2025. First, my subscriber goal for the year is 3,000. Second, I'm committing to creating 12 long-form videos this year. I had the same goal in 2024, but I absolutely underestimated just how much work goes into producing a shiny hunting video that I want to make. Now that I've gained some experience and have a year under my belt, I believe I'm ready to take on this challenge, so I carried this goal over from 2024 into 2025. I wanted to put together a sneak peek at some of my content plan for the next year. Some of these projects are already finished, some are ongoing on streams, and others have yet to be started. These aren't really in any particular order, but I just wanted to share a quick list of the things I want to work on in 2025. On top of that too, I wanted to create a 2025 bingo card that kind of has specific shiny hunts that will help me reach those goals. I got a big focus on marked shinies and a pretty large focus on legendary Pokemon too, so expect some Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon gameplay in the future. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you so much for being a part of my last year. The support I've gotten on this channel this past year has been way beyond my expectations. Hope you had a great day, and I hope you have a great 2025.